Hello, I want to present you another game which is called Panzer Strike. I just jumped straight into the action because one mission takes really long, or the mission I played. Um, yeah, so what can I say? The first thing is I really like the explosions and the sound atmosphere is good. I like the visuals very much. It's isometric. I love isometric. I can zoom, but why can't I zoom out more? That's just so few zoom. Especially for like the scale of the game. Here is my reinforcement convoy. And I have to scroll around and I cannot zoom. And also the settings of the game, it does not really allow me to, I don't know, change UI scale nice, but nothing else like max zoom level. Or I would love to have the different kind of middle mouse. This is the middle mouse panning. Maybe it's too loud. I don't know. Now this central village here is getting overrun by the Russians in my case. So I try to get the reinforcement in. The single tank here has not really a chance. There's like T-34 coming. There's there's all T-34-85, so the bigger barrel, but still a tank that I can fight quite well. However, my convoy takes ages to get up there. This is really sad, but that's war. I mean, you cannot be always lucky. I think this village is very likely to get overrun, so we can garrison infantry in buildings, and I think it makes a lot of sense. This tank is already going through here, and somehow, now at least some grenades are being thrown. That's nice. Oh, I have another tank here, maybe. No? It's already... Why? This tank does not take any commands anymore. It's somehow stuck. Fine. Help me, I'm stuck. Maybe we can repel the attack. So the first reinforcement is coming in here. Hotkeys are a bit strange and not the usual ones for RTS. This is something I don't like. Overall, it would be good to just use the industry standard, in my opinion. Oh my god, a Panther tank. That's really good. Now we use somehow E for engage. Makes sense, E engage, but usually the industry standard attack move is A. But A here is unload units. Okay, that's a big Ferdinand artillery, a nice tank, does a lot of damage. But we have already repelled this attack, so now the crazy attack is coming from here. Okay, cool. Yeah. Why is this game interesting to me? Main reason is I develop RTS myself, and I really like isometric visual style. I think that's the best option you can take for RTS. It gives the best overview. It gives a nice look. I like it much more than 3D, because I don't think perspective makes a lot of sense. It's better if stuff is like a map. So now let's just use all our big boys and shoot down the enemy big boys. What I don't like that much is somehow you can see the tanks, but it's not so easy. What I absolutely don't like for this type of game, where it comes a lot to like outmaneuvering and finding out where is the weakness of the enemy engagement and how can we hit them the hardest. I think now we're getting overrun here maybe. Is I click a tank and the info I get is Panzerkampfwagen 5, Panther, Ausführung B und so weiter. Experience 7.5 centimeter. Somehow this, I guess, is the ammo that's left of this caliber, or maybe not, I don't know. But I would be really happy to get some cool info like something like, I don't know, what is it good against? Is it an anti-infantry vehicle? Something like can penetrate easily the armor of IS-2, or like just let me know IS-2 it has like 20 centimeter front armor and 8 centimeter steel side armor and 6 centimeter back armor, something like this. So I know, aha, this vehicle I have to engage from the backside, it would be really good, because this game has these types of mechanics, I'm pretty sure, from what I have seen. If we shoot from the side or from behind on a tank, it deals a lot more damage than if we just shoot from the front at it. So it makes a lot of sense to go around, and as this game does not have any base building, it does not have any kind of build your army elements. It's just like, you should actually unload, but okay, then don't do it. So we're losing this tank because it's now being hit from the backside. That's just what I talked about. It was nice to hit these guys from the side, but now it gets hit from the back. Really bad for us. Overall, in my opinion, this is a big problem of such a game, and it's very often the case for these types of games that are more like tactical, a bit more slow-paced, but a bit closer to these typical round-based games, like Strategic Command and Hearts of Iron and whatnot. But my big question is, where is info? If this game would be really fast and like Command and Conquer style, then I would be like, okay, maybe you don't give the info out. But this comes all down to outmaneuvering the enemy. Now he tries to outmaneuver me. I guess it might work because his army is insanely big. The pucks here, but the tanks I've taken out, that's really nice. Is here a tank? That's another downside. It's not so easy to see the actual tanks that are still alive. It would be cool if there's something like an arc or control button press that highlights all health bars of the enemy or something like this. Because in the end we want to see things. So this village is completely overrun. How sad for us. This thing is still holding out. We have a lot of reinforcements here sitting. I think it makes sense to send the guys into buildings because the next push will also be coming. I don't know. Somehow I think we should be able to repel this because the tanks are all down. It just comes down to stopping the infantry. The Ferdinand here, is there? No, this one has been destroyed. There's some infantry left. Maybe we can go around and shoot from the side. I don't know. It's a really strong push, but our is still not everything unloaded. Fuck me. Yeah. So I think that's my biggest critique point is where information. What's going on here? Where's my info? I just hover over this tank and that's all I get. I mean, seriously. Somehow down here is another thing that could have been used to just show me like the armor in the front. And it's not necessary to tell me like 20 centimeter steel or whatnot. It would also be okay to just give some indication of strong reinforcement and medium, and then on the tanks just tell me like 85 millimeter barrel, it breaks medium defenses, but it's just useless against heavy. Because my impression is this game is using these kind of mechanic, which is cool, and you need this mechanic for such a game, because otherwise it would be just be like send in troops, let them attack, who cares. We want to make some decisions. If we cannot build an army and just have to use the reinforcements that's coming anyway, the game that must give us something to work with, something to spend our brain power to optimize it, because at least some strategy should be included in a strategy game. Then, of course, use the industry standard for attack, engage, and whatnot, hotkeys and stuff. There's absolutely no reason to reinvent the wheel. Maybe this is Sun Strike hotkeys back from the days where this game is obviously inspired from. I don't know. But but now let's get to the really good point of this game. The mission design is really good. So I already played here for quite a while, and I just hopped back into an earlier save game, and basically I'm almost getting overrun here. So the Russians keep pushing and keep pushing, and I think if I didn't take at least a little bit of care and just here I'm not taking care, but let's say sometimes I make good engagements. Like these guys here, they were used quite well. I think they they did their job. This was not too bad. I think here I messed up a little bit. Usually with the Panther tanks, I think we can really handle the T-34s really good, and we want to engage them from a longer distance. So, but yeah, I mean, we messed it up now. That's life. What about you? Yeah, it killed it. Nice. So now you also see the infantry coming out. That's really nice. It was shut down. These details, I love it, and the mission design is really good. So when I first played it, the enemy forces they drove me back to basically here. Like I just had these kind of houses left, and then the reinforcements came and everything was pushed back and turned around. So first of the game, these front villages were to be defended and recaptured. Then it go back and forth, and every time it felt like, oh shit, I really have to get my shit together to defend this engage this onslaught. And then reinforcements came, and it was like, okay, nice. How can I just recapture everything with the smallest number of losses possible? Yeah, there's a huge engagement. The minimap works quite well. I see from like the red patches where the big assaults are coming. I instantly know shit is really up here. So let's get our big boys in. You come as well. So also this type of strategy where I'm like coming from this angle up here, but they might be cut off from this side because this is enemy territory already. That's working quite well. It's quite nice, the scale and everything. Because first when I played it, I saw the infantry moving. I saw the guys moving like this, and I thought, oh my god, this game, for real, infantry is moving like this. Oh shit, this will be really boring. This game, the pace is really slow. I still think for modern day and today how games are being designed and developed, it still might be a little bit too slow. I think for what the developers want to achieve, that's the correct pace, because they want to have this, some fighting is going on here, and I have enough time to get my tanks over there and to just redeploy artillery and just leave the houses and give it up and regroup somewhere here. Stuff like this, I think it only works if the pace is not too fast. In CNC style games, it's not gonna work like that. So actually, I have to say the pace is okay. If you're playing a game like this, then it makes sense. So, and again, coming back to the mission design, it's really good. It really created a kind of tension and excitement for me. That's something I rarely find in these types of games. I don't know if this guy can still make it, I guess not. Let's rather get into a house in the back. So I think multiplayer fights might also be really interesting. Something that could be a lot of fun. If you're just playing with your friends and you have some kind of scenario everyone has played 2 or 3 times, and you find some new angles, some new ways to win this time. Something that could make a lot of fun. Yeah. So from my point of view, the game has some opportunity. I think it has a really hard... it tries to get into a niche that might be really hard, since most people today have like shorter attention spans and they need fast action and everything must happen fast. They don't like to watch, oh yeah, the tanks are shooting, how nice, maybe in 5 minutes we have this house gunned down, this is okay, I want to meditate a little bit. Yeah, this is not so often the case anymore for players nowadays. So yeah. Then also players like base building. They like to see that they have created the base, and this is like a kind of dynamic narrative, something you have to defend, something that gives you a purpose. It's something different than, here's some reinforcements, just go take the village that nobody cares about. It's a different feeling if you have built up the stuff first by your hand and then someone wants to tear it down. Different connection. It's like you play Factorio, you play Satisfactory. Factorio, the monsters come and they want to gun, they want to eat your base. And that's not okay. In Satisfactory, it's like, yeah, some random animals go around in the world, who cares? And my base, if it looks like a big pile of shit, it doesn't matter because there's no real threat anyway. Maybe later, I will make it nice. Now we're getting overrun again. I don't know why you guys not shooting. Maybe I messed up. This is really bad. We have these super heavy guys, Ferdinand, and they are too close to the combat. I don't know if the auto targeting is any good. For such a game, it's really important. Yeah, that's what you do now. This is really, really bad, my friend. So somehow the auto targeting is horrible. Something that should not be the case for such a type of game, because usually you want to make decisions on a bigger scale than you have a big anti-tank barrel, shoot the tank, but no, sadly it's shooting the smallest infantry guy that's on the whole field, who actually is going to suffocate on the sandwich they have eaten anyway. So why do we shoot at it? We don't know, but it's happening and it's horrible. Yeah, that's something it should be improved in my opinion. But overall, I think the game can be quite a lot of fun. If the campaign is nice and if you have some kind of cool, I can take my experienced units with me and I have something to build upon from mission to mission, would also be really nice. Yeah, the game has potential, the game is nice. I have a lot of critique points, but easy to fix. I have also talking about Dustfront RTS, and I think the problems here are easy to fix. Except for this one problem of like the attention span of current gamers, of our youth, that needs like TikTok videos to not be bored to death. But overall the feeling is great. The game is nice, the onslaughts are fun. I hope if there's more missions, then there's more different types of what you have to do actually with your vehicles. Because if you always get the same kind of mix of units, then it's always the same stuff you do. And in some missions you might not have any artillery and only like fast stuff. But then maybe you have to completely change your strategy and approach differently. That would be nice. But yeah, overall what I've seen in the demo is really cool. Maybe fix the bad thing. We want to zoom out more. We want to have information. That would be really nice. Just let us know what's going on. But beside that, great game. Oh, surrender, exit. Actually, what happens if we surrender? Okay, defeat battle report. Okay, how nice. Add to your wish list. We have already done this. That's why we are here. Exit. Yeah, that was Panzer Strike. Thank you for watching.